This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Today's video is brought to you by ZBiotics. I've been talking for almost 2 years about the different characters surrounding the insurrection. Both the small bit characters, if you remember, my wife, Brittany Page, her high school boyfriend was one of the idiots, one of the newly decided to be a terrorist. Jonah, what's his name? Josiah Colt. Thank you for the assist, Brittany Page. I've talked about all of these characters. But there are more sinister people who are charged with more serious crimes like seditious conspiracy. Stuart Rhodes, apparently his real name is Elmer. Stuart Rhodes from the Oath Keepers, and also a few Proud Boys. And this case has now rested and gone to the jury for deliberation. We face in our country an existential crisis where 2/3 of Republicans believe that the 2020 election was stolen. It is nonsense. They have presented zero evidence of their repeated claims. And they are being backed up by domestic terror suspects in this claim. They attacked the United States Capitol. Their failed coup attempt to overthrow the United States government by way of overturning a free and fair settled election. And now a jury of their peers will decide if they are indeed guilty of seditious conspiracy. I'm going to read from this NBC News article. We're going to talk about it. But before I do, a word from today's sponsor, ZBiotics. While I often look like a suit on camera, this guy loves a good time. You probably figured that out, though. With the holidays approaching, I expect some later nights than usual as I look to count the blessings of this year and what it has brought. I'm no longer a spring chicken, which you can also probably tell, and having a few can cause real trouble the next day. My solution, ZBiotics. ZBiotics breaks down the alcohol byproducts responsible for rough mornings after drinking. If you too enjoy drinks and friends, but have a busy day on the horizon, ZBiotics is perfect for you. Just one ZBiotics before you start drinking is all you need to have an enjoyable night or day and still be productive tomorrow. Get 15% off of your first order of ZBiotics pre-alcoholic probiotic when you go to zbiotics.com/Dollemore or simply click the link in the description below and use code Dollemore at checkout. Engineered by PhD scientists, ZBiotics is real science that works. Every time I have ZBiotics before drinking, I am shocked at how good I feel the next day. It's now my go-to, as I know I can easily get up and get working in the studio, even if I went out the night before and stayed out a little late. You too can feel this good the next day. Give yourself or your friends the gift of a better tomorrow with ZBiotics. Support this channel and score 15% off of your first order when you go to zbiotics.com/Dollemore or simply click the link in the description below and use the code Dollemore at checkout. Remember to drink responsibly and keep it classy this holiday season. So let's get into this here. This NBC News article entitled, Jury to Begin Deliberations in Oath Keepers' January 6 Seditious Conspiracy Trial. Stuart Rhodes and 4 others associated with the far-right Oath Keepers are facing the first seditious conspiracy jury trial in more than a decade. For the first time in at least a decade, a jury is set to deliberate federal seditious conspiracy charges weighing the government's case against members of the far-right Oath Keepers organization, who prosecutors say plotted to oppose the peaceful transfer of power by force in the lead-up to the attack on the United States Capitol on January 6th. Now, this is journalistic language. They have to use words like allegedly and who prosecutors say did this. But we witnessed what took place. We all have eyes. We all witnessed on live television the attempted overthrow of the United States government. We witnessed with our own eyes thousands of violent insurrectionists assaulting the United States Capitol. Hundreds, maybe, chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." Chanting, "Where's Nancy? We're coming for you." There was a hangman's gallows constructed just hundreds of feet away from where they were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." And again, I'll say it again and again and again. It didn't just appear there. There wasn't just lumber lying around on the lawn of the Capitol. It was a premeditated thing. Pre-planned to build, to construct, to bring the tools and the implements necessary to construct such a structure. It was in the cards before they showed up that they were going to call for the hanging of Mike Pence and or other members of Congress. Oath Keepers founders Elmer Stewart Rhodes III, is facing trial alongside 4 other defendants: Jessica Watkins, Kelly Meggs, Kenneth Harrelson, and Thomas Caldwell. Watkins, Meggs, and Harrelson went inside the Capitol during the attack, while Rhodes and Caldwell were present on restricted Capitol grounds on January 6th. Stuart Rhodes, the leader of the Oath Keepers, repeatedly tried to get in touch with former President Donald Trump even after the January 6th attack, encouraging Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act and call upon the Oath Keepers to help keep him in the White House despite his election loss. All of this was in tandem, was in coordination with the effort to put in fake electors to trick Congress into certifying the wrong slate of electors. I mean, who knows what buffoonery was going through their minds when they came up with this plan. After hearing from the government last week and from the defendant's attorney on Friday and Monday, federal prosecutors got the last word during rebuttal before the case went to jury late yesterday. That's where we are here. This is from the prosecution, they took matters out of the hands of the people and put rifles into their own hands, Assistant U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Nessler told jurors. They claimed to wrap themselves in the Constitution. They trampled it instead. They claimed to be saving the republic, but they fractured it instead. These are words similar to those that I've been talking about for a year and a half. These idiots who wave their pocket constitutions proudly in the air and have no idea the contents therein. The defendant should be held accountable for agreeing to commit sedition against the government of the United States of America, Nessler said. They are not above the law. We ask you to uphold the Constitution that they tried to subvert, he continued. And then here, as a matter of housekeeping, I guess, U.S. District Judge Emmett Mehta told jurors they would begin deliberations at 9:30 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday and resume deliberations on Monday after the Thanksgiving break. So it's a guess, I don't know, but it seems unlikely that they would return a verdict today. It is more likely that we will find out next week after Thanksgiving what the fate of these individuals are, or at least whether or not a jury of their peers found them guilty of seditious conspiracy connected to their attempt to overthrow the United States government. What do you think about all this? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on social media for all the good times while they last. I am at Dollemore on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, at Dollemore. I'm also trying out a few other little social networks that are out there in case Twitter crashes and burns, because whether you like it or not, it is a valuable tool to communicate with activists and journalists, and it's valuable, and it's a bummer that it's being burned to the ground by Elon Musk. If you appreciate what I do, you'd like to help support my work, help produce what I do right here, Click the join button below this video. Become a channel member. At least look into what's involved in becoming a channel member. For $1.99 a month, you could do so. Or you can click on over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Both those are fantastic ways to help support and produce the content that I make right here. And it also helps produce the podcast, which if you're not subscribed to, you should subscribe to I Doubt It Podcast with Jesse Dollemore and Brittany Page. And check out our twice weekly show that is audio only, that is not this, completely separate. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.